can start ranting again. I'm Pat.
Hi, Pat. I'm Jeffrey.
And so, yes, I'm going back to the evil empire of cable services, the Xfinity. Um, After much debate of whether or not to get Starlink, but I'm not going to do it.
Well, I mean, it just doesn't fit for what you need right now.
No, and if it had its own cable package, I'd probably think about it a little bit harder.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
but it doesn't, man. And then so doing that and then signing up for a whole other like TV package service is kind of stupid. And so I was like,
Yeah.
well, fine, fuck it. Um, and then Comcast or Xfinity does this thing where you can lock in a price for 5 years and it costs like $5 extra a month. I was like, all right, that'll work.
Well, yeah. That actually, I wondered about that.
I'll reevaluate my options in several years when I either like get so furious at Comcast or Xfinity, or Starlink gets cheaper, or I fucking move. So any one of those things, I think all three of them could happen within 5 years.
It's possible. I mean,
Possible.
I guess here's the the thing I would ask you about that. I can't imagine this would be something that gets you to essentially leave your home.
No,
Right.
no, no. That would have to make a lot more economic sense.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, no, I'm not going to get pissy over cable in order to
Yeah.
move, man. I mean, so I've got so much of my house paid off that it's kind of like that would be dumb.
Pretty much. I mean, and that's sort of a. I don't want to say it's on a whim or a. How do I say it? I don't want to say it's trivial because it's a legitimate reason, all things considered. Like let's say for example that the house just out of that little area was for sale, right? So that
I would never do that.
see that's
No, no, man, I would completely change my neighborhood.
okay. All right.
Yeah, no, I would never do that.
All right.
So, no. No, we've been talking about it. The only thing that'll get us to move, A, is I want a smaller house. So my house is too fucking big.
Well,
B, I want a nicer house. So
oh, your
something,
house is nice.
my house is nice, but I want one with nicer things in it.
You mean like
So,
windows and
like a
stuff?
steam shower.
What?
My house has fucking windows. I just
Oh yeah,
replaced
you
those like
replace
3 years
those. Yeah,
ago.
that's right.
Yeah. So, no, just nicer things in it.
When you say steam shower, you're talking about like one of the open ones where it's not.
I don't know what they, yeah, it's kind of like that, but it's also like a sauna too. So,
Oh,
yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen one of those.
I've been in one in a hotel. It was nice. So apparently you can get them too.
I'm sure. I mean, if as long as you have the space for it, or
Well, I
I
wouldn't
mean,
buy a house if I didn't. So yeah, I'd wait until I found a house that has the shit that I wanted. And the third thing that I want is a fucking view. So I'm finally at that point in time where if I get up and I drink my coffee in the morning, I want to get on a deck and look at something besides prairie. So, yeah.
that's interesting that you say that. I have found that, um, and it's good if you use it. But I have found that in the research that I've done and what I've read, people that essentially use view as one of their criteria, that's the
Yeah.
one they end up regretting the most
Why?
because it's the one they end up using the least.
Oh, yeah.
It's something where because it's not again there's a zen to it depending on where you are
Hmm.
and there's an appreciation for it,
Hmm.
but the thing is it doesn't change, right?
No, no. There's two things you can never change. You can never change your location, and you can never change, like the actual like structure of your house. So the shell, so to speak.
Right, right.
So, I mean, you can add a room onto it or,
Yeah,
break a couple things up, but, if the profile of your house is something that you don't like, you're stuck with it. So,
right, right.
yeah.
No, that I understand, but yeah, that's something where a lot of people, and again, this is dependent on you because ultimately, if it's something that you use, that's all that matters. And there are
Hmm.
plenty of people that, um, I think there are people that say that and they don't mean it. I think it's something that.
I think there's people who use that as a bargaining chip.
Yeah,
So that
yeah.
they do find a place that doesn't have a good view. They're, well, it doesn't have a good view, but it's got a 2.5 car garage, so we'll take it, kind of thing.
Take the 2.5 car garage. Yeah,
So,
that's something I
yeah.
understand. But yeah, that's the trick. Is those are the people who are like you didn't care in the first place. That you really.
Yeah. I actually
Yeah.
care about it, man. So, I mean, I've spent enough weekends down at my in-laws down in Phoenix, and they've got a view that overlooks a golf course. And you know what's nice when you're sitting there just fucking around on a computer and stuff?
Huh.
It's just leaning back and watching people play golf for a minute.
Well, my
In a
house
nice,
is on the golf course. Yeah.
yeah, see? Yeah, or like a place where you can actually just go out and, just chill for a few minutes and look at something besides, in my case, yucca plants. you know?
I have you 100%. I don't. So here's the thing. I don't mind yucca plants. I totally get where you're coming from. I guess the thing is, so I'm lucky, and you're lucky enough to live here, right?
Oh, yeah.
So there are places that if you lived and you didn't have something to look at, that would drive you fucking nuts, right? The thing for me is, uh, we're blessed to be in this community where you are never more than 5 minutes away from driving to a spot where you can actually really appreciate the
Oh,
outdoors,
yeah, sure.
right?
Oh, but you can just go up to the park, man.
Like that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like I can go to that park.
Yep.
I can go to Palmer Park.
Yep.
I can go to. I mean, there's
There's
all sorts of places here. But that being said, if you've got a spot there where it's like, God, this is sort of what life is all about. This is the appreciation of things that that whenever your morning may be, whether it's 1 p.m., whether it's 6 a.m.
Yeah, or 2
You know,
o'clock in the morning.
yeah.
Whatever.
You can
So,
appreciate it. Then hell yeah,
yeah, no,
hell yeah.
those are kind of on my requirement list because I wouldn't move unless I had that because there'd be no reason to. So,
What would your wife want?
definitely something smaller. That's
She's
number
with you
one.
too, huh?
Oh, fuck
Okay.
yeah. I want to chop my house in half. So,
Single level?
sure. So,
Okay.
yeah,
All
I
right.
don't need a fucking basement. So, I don't think you can find a place in Colorado that doesn't have a basement, though. I don't think I've ever seen one. I've seen places with crawl spaces, but those are
Yeah.
houses, and I
Yeah.
don't know if I want a fucking house. So,
Really?
yeah, no, man, I'm almost thinking about going back to townhouse. Our first house was a townhouse.
Yeah, it was.
It was really
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
So, something like that. I don't know. Definitely smaller.
Well, all right. So here, the weird thing is, so take my brother's situation for a situation, right? All right. So when it comes down to it, his family is really not that much larger than yours. It's one kid larger,
It is one kid larger.
but the constant talk for them is we need a bigger place.
Okay, then maybe they want more kids. Well, I'm done with
No,
that.
no, 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 no.
Yeah.
It's for the kids they have, and the weird thing for me, I go over there. It's like your house is fucking huge. All right,
This house is big. He's got what, 3 bedrooms downstairs?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Just
It's been
downstairs.
a minute
Yeah,
since I've been to his house. So
yeah, and then another 3 upstairs. So I mean,
that's crazy.
and just all sorts of room, just to run around and shit. But it's because those kids, by nature of themselves, their personalities, they take up more space than I think your kid does.
Yeah, no, my daughter doesn't. I mean, she's got a room that's piled high with her own shit in it, but
Yeah, that's fine.
that's fine. So that's past my event horizon of give a shit.
But totally fair. But
As
I
long
mean,
as there's no fire hazards in there, cool.
if you were living in a collier's, you'd know that. Yeah, because you'd be like, I mean, I will say that your national geos are flammable.
Yeah, they're all going to go up at once, though, man.
Right.
They're pretty concentrated.
They don't.
Yeah.
They don't lead to a stack of
Actually, they
newspapers.
burn more like a
and-
wick. They'd probably take a while for them to burn.
Well, the problem once you get them going,
Oh
You
yeah,
will not
yeah,
put them
yeah.
out.
No.
It will.
It's like a Tesla fire.
That's correct.
Battery
Yes.
fire.
But yeah, it doesn't lead to. It's like, well, this is my. I have been stacking paper bags for years. I have been stacking.
Hoarding newspapers.
So these will be valuable again someday.
I've saved all my trash for the last 5 years.
All your trash is just you say like you never know when you're going to need dead leaves again.
Yeah. Look at this Comcast bills from 3 houses ago. I gotta keep it for my records.
You actually have 7 years of tax returns and receipts.
Oh yeah.
Just out in the open. So yeah, if it's just that, but the thing is, I don't think your daughter has anything where it's but that's where her drum set goes. This is where her
No, she's actually. I mean, one of the side effects of her not taking to any extracurricular activities over the years has been that we have not accumulated a whole bunch of fucking useless sports equipment slash, instruments, slash, costumes, whatever.
right.
So yeah, she's in a pretty small spot, and I gotta tell you, man, we probably move after she's gone anyway.
I would
I
imagine
mean, when
that.
we bought that house, we anticipated having more kids. And so, because that was right after my daughter was born, it was maybe a year after she was, maybe 2 years after she was born.
Okay, yeah.
And so we had planned on having a lot more kids, and that didn't work out. And so now it's just like, well, fuck, man, I'm tired of like the rest of my house accumulating shit in it because everybody's like, oh, you got lots of room in your house. Here, take this.
Are you serious?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Um,
So, or you get something and you're like, oh, well, we don't really want to haul the old one out to the street, so just throw it in the basement. You know? So, part of it's our fault too, but look, it's past the point in time where I need to have like, fucking like the junk guys come over.
you will,
It's time to fucking
but
move,
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just like, point at stuff that we want to take, and then everything else goes into a sale, which I'm going to pay somebody to organize. So,
All right, that's
yeah.
fair. Because I presume you're not going to piece it out and just say like,
Fuck no.
I think I can get a little bit more for this dresser, but
No, my whole thing is going to be like, if we downsize, what I'd like to downsize to is like 2 bedrooms. So, and 1 living room kind of thing. And so it'll be like, we decide which set of furniture we take. The rest of them stay.
and this is a possibility, that may be the one time in your life that you actually buy a new set of matching furniture for the whole house.
We did that a couple of years ago. So
For the whole place?
no, not for the whole place, but for the living room.
No, that's what I'm talking about. Where
I'm not changing my bedroom stuff. That stuff my dad finished for us. So that stays forever. So
all right,
yeah, no, man. I mean, seriously. I mean, my bedroom set is antique. I mean, it was built in the 1910s. So yeah, it stays. I mean, yeah. So
all right.
yeah, but that would be it.
Well, then that may be the time to actually go to get antique stuff for the rest of the.
Possibly. I don't know. I don't know. We just bought new couches like 3 years ago, so they work great. They're fine. So the only thing that I wish they had, and this is a really bougie thing, but my father-in-law bought one of them couches that has this pad on it where you put your phone on it.
You
and
put the
charges your
phone in the fucking cup holder, and it's yeah. Has
No,
nothing to do-
it's not. He had the old one where you put in like the credit card slot.
Yeah.
So this one is just it's a little pad, and you just lay it on there, and it charges. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
okay,
it's fancy.
okay. All right.
I don't know how it does it by like osmosis or something.
You
I don't know how that works, man.
You've used a wireless charger before, haven't you?
Not until then.
Shit. Okay, so
Yeah.
those have been around for a minute. I used to have one at. So we were always like charging stuff at the rig. There was always a need for that, and at the end of every shift, especially when people had different phones, right? There was this fumbling of cords,
Oh,
right? So I bought it was only like $17. I said, look, here's the wireless charger.
oh, that's cool.
Everybody can use
Everybody
this,
can use this.
right?
That's
And
actually a good idea. I should get one of those for Christmas. That'd be a good gift for the family because we've been doing the phone juggling thing.
well, hold on to that for 1 second. The only drawback I'll say, and I cannot prove that this is the case, you'd have to do some research, is it seems to me that wireless charging actually degrades the battery quicker.
Oh, the phone.
I can't prove that,
No.
but it seemed like that was the case. But you know what? That's also technology from, I don't know, 5 years ago, 4 years ago. So I presume that it's improved. And
Possibly.
yeah, that is a nice thing to do for your family. I remember one of the things I did at some point was I just went onto Amazon and I ordered like 15 like of the super fast charging,
Oh yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
things and the cords, and it's just, and I bought a whole bunch of different lengths where it's just
Yep.
anywhere that you go in my home, you're never
Right.
separated from it. Right?
Yeah. Well, I think we got like three or four of them. So they're in the like popular spots in the house. It's just like, I think over the years, like one or two of them have started to burn out. And
Yeah.
then, yeah, actually, a wireless one might not be a bad idea. So,
No, you put it right on there. Yeah.
yeah. Can it charge multiple phones at once?
I never tried, and I don't think so, and I
Okay.
wouldn't think that's safe anyway.
Yeah.
Quite possibly, I can't say for sure, but even still at that, because I mean, so the thing about it is, it's essentially like this microphone here, right?
Mhm.
Where you're just going to have basically the C is going to plug into the puck.
Right.
So if you have multiple C's out here anywhere, put two.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I don't know if that would actually matter that much then, if it was one for one, because we all have phones that have a C charger. So it's
Oh,
not
okay.
like we're swapping out different chargers, for the
Okay.
different
Yeah.
phones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But I'm not going to buy a whole new couch just so my wife and daughter can have that.
I mean, if you want, I
I
mean,
don't really want to. I have other things I want to spend money
I
on.
would say, I mean,
If the couch was 15 years old, sure, but it's three.
I don't see you really spending that much couch time either.
I don't spend any time on the couch,
Yeah. Yeah.
so no. Mm-mm. I mean, I've got an ancient couch in my basement that I lay on every now and then.
Right.
So
But most
that's
of the time, you're going to be parked in front of your computer
I
desk, right?
almost always
Yeah.
parked in front of a computer desk. In fact, I was looking for a new computer chair the other day, so I need a new one. They bought me one of them gamer chairs like 2 years ago, and it was a cool gift and it was a neat idea. They do not hold up after a while, man. So, you know,
I never got the full gamer chair. I mean,
yeah,
it's not that. All right, in the same way that if you like that type of like Mountain Dew Code Red, like if you like the taste of it, it's fine. But
right.
do understand that there's a culture that goes to it, and so like gamer
I
chairs are.
didn't. Yeah, I don't care about
I
that.
don't.
They weren't trying to get that because it fits
No,
some
no,
kind
no,
of
no,
thing. They
no.
just thought it was cool. So,
But that's a sometimes that's a very like mom kind of gift to get. It's like, well, I saw that you like games, and
that's
they
exactly what it
the
was.
guy at the store said
Yeah.
this is what people that
Except for
like
this
games
was
like
my
to play.
wife, and she saw it on Amazon and said, "Oh, that'll make a good gift." But I gotta tell you, man, like I have an office chair down at the school that's probably about 20 years old,
Yeah,
and it works great. you know,
yeah, yeah.
it feels right, and I've spent hours in that thing too. So, and it's one of those mesh back ones, like from the early aughts that were like really edgy back then.
Bro, I
But
gotta
man, my back
yeah,
feels good sitting in that
it's I have for a while there I was pursuing like a perfect chair because I was parked at the desk eight
thing.
hours at a time. I was typing the whole time, so I'm like, all right, I've got to find something that's good. And
You have a couch. Oh no, you got chairs.
nope, that now I use the chair
Oh.
and my well because that was the other part of it was eventually I said, okay, if I can move the desk up and
Right.
down, that's going to solve a lot of problems with any chair, right?
Yeah, that's kind of true. Yeah.
Yeah, because there was no way to set things up in a way. I'm short, man. I have to move the seat up and all that other stuff. And on top of that, yeah, so my dog just commandeered that couch anyway. So,
Yeah.
but I tried a bunch of different office chairs, that kind of stuff. It's not that office chairs just like the modern take on these things just doesn't. It's like it wants you to leave. It's like those. It's modern office chairs look comfortable. They have all these things that look like they'd feel comfortable,
Hmm.
right? But after you sit in them for like a couple of hours, they treat you
Hmm.
like those inhospitable, like anti-homeless benches
It's got spikes in it.
Yeah, well, yeah. There's
Like
just
no napping here, buddy.
exactly. It's something where if you think about it, so on a practical level, right? There's something to be said about you don't want your chair to be so comfortable that you will sit in it for 8 hours without interruption,
Mhm.
right? It should make you want to move every now and then, right?
Yeah.
But there's also this thing where you find it. There's a couple of companies. It's like I want to steal these from you. Like these are the perfect ones here. Like the boardroom chairs. I'm like, if you guys ever,
Oh
if
yeah.
I ever catch you guys looking the other way, these are going in my car.
Yoink.
Where those are, you could just sit and you're about to go to sleep in it. It's
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
it's that cozy.
I've had a few chairs like that in my life. Like one of the comfiest chairs I ever had was my dad had a chair from the Air Force. So the Air
Right,
Force,
right.
ages and ages ago, that was designed for you to sit there and watch the nuclear missile panel.
Right.
I wish we still had that thing. He's got one left in my mom's house, but it's a high top. It's like a stool. So I
Oh yeah,
can't
yeah,
use
yeah,
that to
yeah.
to play, anything on the computer, let alone fucking type. But my office chair down at at work is probably about 20 years old. So as is all my office furniture is probably fucking 50 years old down there. So because I got a hand-me-down office. And I've had opportunities where, oh, you want to sit now? I'm fine. I don't want to move all my shit.
An honest answer.
I'm totally fine, you know.
Oh
So
yeah,
I've seen
yeah.
people come in after me who get much nicer offices than I have. But mine's really close to the exit.
See, that's it. That's
Yeah,
sort of
it's really nice.
it's sort of like buying one of those downtown houses, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Say
Yeah.
like nothing fits in here. I dare you to try and get a couch up these stairs, but it's right next to
It's
work.
right next to work. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So, yeah, it's like having that really uncomfortable seat in class, but it's right next to the outlet. You know?
You know what I'm talking
I know
about.
exactly what you're talking about. So, but the chair that I have down there is one that I bet you I can probably find it. So I got to go down there here soon. So I'm going to lift a model number off that
I was gonna say, yeah, you flip it
see if I
over, I
can find
guarantee
it.
you can find
Yeah,
something on there.
because it's as corpo gets. But it is probably one of the sturdiest and probably one of the most comfortable as far as your back goes chairs that I've had since that Air Force chair. Way back when I was a kid, my back didn't hurt all the time.
But there's a couple of assumptions in there that not all of them may be true, but I think some of them are related. That yes, I think I'm going to put it this way: I don't think that kids raised now,
Mhm.
or basically like Z's or anything like that, I don't think any of them have better posture than we do.
No,
I think that we live in a world where knowledge of ergonomics
yeah.
is omnipresent, but not utilized. So
Well, you can just see that in fucking car seats. I mean,
that is
you guys in
true.
cars. I mean, dude, it's like my fucking dad's original Blazer. It had car seats like couch cushions in it.
Well,
I mean,
did his Blazer have like bench seats too?
it did have a bench seat in the
Yeah, yeah,
back.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I mean, come on, dude. There was no ergonomics in that. It was just basically designed not to kill you if you got in a wreck. So,
What year?
yeah, it was kind of on the cusp, man.
Yeah.
So I think his car was made in the '80s, not the '70s. So
There's a definitely a period of car design where it is it's again it's hostile design. It's like you won't survive, but will you kill the person that killed you? The,
get the reflex shot. So, yeah.
make them pay. Take them
Make them
with
pay.
you.
Take them with you,
Yeah,
buddy.
it's
Yeah. It's like, does this car need this much lead in it? Yes. Yes, it does. So the frame needs to be soft and supple, but heavy.
Now this special feature, we just put this in here in 1965. What this does here is if you are punctured, right? If the superstructure is actually broken, it will
Mhm.
release chlorine gas.
Chlorine gas. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It'll release fuel into the air and then explode. Yeah.
No, I gotcha. And yeah, your old Blazer could be on the cusp of saving lives versus taking them.
Yeah, I think
It's
it was right there.
yeah,
So, because like the truck that I have, that thing's pretty safe, you know.
definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
You get to a I will say this. I mean, vehicles are getting considerably safer, and they have been for the past
Oh, 20 years
at least
at
20
least.
years. I
Yeah.
think there's a period where, as long as your car came from essentially like 2000 or beyond,
Yeah.
those things are really designed. They're designed to crumple.
Hmm.
They're designed to shed. You know, this is the thing. I remember when I was younger, right, where F1 or IndyCar racing was way more popular amongst like regular people than it is now, right?
Yeah.
You have diehards that are way into it, and I also understand that this is America, not Europe, and Europe is
Yeah.
very much into this stuff.
That's a big piece of it. I mean, you kind of
Huge,
had to split into whether or not you were a NASCAR or F1 fan.
yeah, yeah,
So, and it was kind of like, well, I don't know. I eat meat and drink beer, so
kind of, yeah.
the other group was like, I really want to go to Monaco someday. The other people are like, where the fuck is that? you know,
Well, do you know what the
that
city
Florida?
state is? Yeah,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, that's the thing is I remember watching. I'd see the crashes when I was younger. And I'd ask my dad, I'm like, why do they fall apart? Like it's like it seems like they should make them sturdier. He's like, no,
Oh
son,
no no
it's,
no.
no, no. It's, well, the way that these things fall apart, they actually dispense the energy is this like go get me some graph paper and a pencil
Right,
and I'll
yeah,
show you.
exactly. Let me bring my slide rule.
Yeah,
We're gonna do this right.
and so that was I think modern cars have a lot of that design in mind, where it's not like the shit's going to go flying off, but it
Yeah.
does deflect a lot of energy instead of
Right, right, right.
taking it in and giving it back.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. So,
It does. I mean, again, that's the kind of thing
I don't
that
know.
we.
Cars have gotten heavier lately, especially with all the electric ones out there, because they're way heavier.
Well, it's
Um,
supposed to be.
well, it's just the battery. I don't
I
think
mean,
they're
it
supposed to
does.
be.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just a design feature. You know.
or a limitation, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. So
Well, I guarantee if they could make the battery lighter, they
you think so?
would. Absolutely.
Yeah, they do. My brother's got the electric car, and he's like, he tears up his tires. He goes through tires every couple of years. So we're like, I've had the same tires on my truck for fucking 10 years now, and they're
I
fine.
know.
They're
I
fine.
know.
Yeah. So,
Well, I'll also say this: there are people who are going to change their tires every year and a half, regardless.
depending on how they drive, yeah, sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and it's a
Yeah, that's true.
and the thing is they do not go to Goodyear and say what's on sale. They they have something in mind that they want.
Oh, those guys, yeah.
Right,
I
right.
haven't heard that much lately, man. So, because I live right there on the drag strip,
Right.
and it used to be, well, I mean, it is getting colder, but still, just like
Yes.
during the fall months here, man, there was not as much uh like inner street racing shenanigans going up and down that hill there.
I think that's fair. Yeah, yeah.
And I was looking at this a little while ago, and that's because the police are using drones now.
Good for them.
Yeah.
It's
But that's not what I expected from you, but
well, all right.
So they're literally using like spy technology to follow you to your fucking house.
Look, okay. Let me clarify. I have a few parts of my mind where the rubber doesn't meet the road. Right? It's completely ridiculous. But it's just in considerations of certain things that have gone by. I don't know if I've changed my mind, but it's kind of like I would look the other way.
Oh,
So,
okay.
for example, I know in some cities where gunfire is a problem, they have the listening
We have
devices.
those here.
Well, so here's the
We
thing,
totally have those here. In fact, I know where some of them are.
and they can triangulate,
Yeah,
right?
oh yeah,
So they can
totally.
put that there. And so there's a part of me that says, well, use this to find illegal fireworks.
Hmm.
Now, again, 20 years ago, I would say this is ridiculous.
Right.
but there is a part of me that says you are scaring my dog half to death,
Yeah.
and you don't have to. So
Oh.
it's one of those, I don't like it, but I will enjoy the benefits of it, being that I didn't have a choice. And so, in the same token, where having to deal with, you know what it is, it's the same thing that I get sometimes over here. It is what it is, right? Is some dude with that car or that motorcycle that is, it's just 45 decibels louder than
Mhm.
any vehicle, and whatever you're doing, you're going to hear it,
Yeah, you'll hear it. Yeah.
right? And if there's anything that you can do that can make that disappear, whether it be drone technology or anything like that, if it stops the racing, right?
Yeah.
Race all you want. I don't. If it were quiet, I'd have no problem.
Yeah. Well, the quiet is an added benefit I get.
It's,
You know,
yeah, it's the side effect.
it is the
Yeah.
side effect. I know that the impetus was that like we had I read an article on this a little while ago. It might have been in the Gazoo. I can't remember.
What
But
about?
well, this year was like a record-setting year for the number of motorcycle deaths in this town. So
Here?
yeah, it was way up. So
Was it
racing deaths,
really?
that was a bunch
Uh,
of it. Yeah. I mean, you don't find like, okay, 82-year-old man gets on motorcycle and dies unexpectedly.
it happens.
But it's
It
usually like,
happens.
fucking Rampart High School is mourning its latest quarterback. Yeah. It's usually something more along like that, or young cadet's life snuffed out early.
It is, or if you do get that particular case, it's 82-year-old motorcycler has heart attack on,
Right, yeah. Lays it down
falls
in a
into,
ditch.
yes,
Yeah, yeah,
exactly.
exactly. No, it's not, 17-year-old, like, without a license, wraps motorcycle, 1500cc crotch
Right.
rocket around fucking Median and Powers and North Carefree.
Took out the faithful friend sign again.
Again,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. McDonald's is closing this location. Yeah. So, oh, I did. We were talking about Wendy's the other day, so I went and looked that up, man.
Okay. Yeah.
So they're closing about 300 locations, and they have about 6,000 stores. So it's like enough for people to notice, but it's still kind of like a bad haircut. So
Pat.
yeah. Yeah. And I looked at Arby's too, and Arby's has about half as many locations. So Wendy's is bigger than Arby's, but they didn't disclose how many they're closing.
But
So
the company that owned Arby's is the one
right,
that bought Wendy's.
it's the same,
Yeah.
yeah. So, but that company's a monster, dude. They do like 80, like I think it was like $28 billion in sales a year. That's big. That's a
Oh,
lot.
yeah.
That's big.
Yeah.
So, but that's only two of their brands. They have like a dozen, brands out there.
But they have the guys that own Taco Bell and stuff.
That's Yum. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's different.
Are those the dudes that are owned by
That's
Pepsi?
owned by Pepsi.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So you go to Arby's, you ask for a Pepsi, they're like, no. Well, actually, I don't know. Arby's, yeah, no, you get Coke there. Yeah.
Arby's used to be the place that had Dr. Pepper.
Well, any place you go to, has Coke has Dr. Pepper, basically.
No.
Oh well,
Well, I mean, you can.
you can, yeah. So other than that, it's Mr. Pibb. If you go to the Mickey D's, I think. No,
Or
you get Dr. Pepper at Mickey D's, can't you? I don't
I
order
don't
Dr.
know.
Pepper,
I haven't.
so I don't know.
So, all right. So
That's the thing that I found out was Dr. Pepper is just root beer and Coke mixed together.
not quite.
I know,
No,
but yeah,
it's,
it was like, really? So
it's not. It's not because root beer doesn't really have cinnamon in it.
Oh, okay.
That's the flavor
Yeah.
of Dr. Pepper.
I didn't know. I don't drink it, so
Well, that was my dad's drink.
yeah, I know.
Right. So
That was
it's.
my mom's drink too. So
I think. I think a lot of people that used to drink, for some reason, Dr. Pepper was their drink. After they're like, I can't drink no more.
oh, that man maybe.
I feel like it was. There were a couple of things where you see, like, you used to drink a lot, didn't you? It's like you see Dr. Pepper drinkers and you see 7 Up drinkers.
Oh,
And 7 Up used to be the, like, mixing soda.
well, yeah, that or just straight up like fucking Schweppes, tonic water.
Tonic
Yeah.
water, I mean, or, just Coca-Cola, that kind
Coke
of
is
thing.
fine.
Coke is omnipresent, so it's not.
No, no. The guys that I know that like hardcore quit drinking, like had the shaky shakes,
Yeah,
they started smoking. You know,
yeah.
that was how you could kind of tell that someone had a problem with the alcohol if they literally monkey fucked 3 cigarettes in a row. You
They
know?
let you smoke in rehab.
They let you smoke in
That is
rehab. That's
correct.
correct. Yeah.
Yes,
So yeah,
and I agree with that decision. You would gladly trade that for anything else.
I guess, man. Like I don't. There was one guy in my gun club years ago, and he had it bad. He was like hospitalized several times. Blah blah blah.
For drinking?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
So yeah. I mean, and he was one of these super skinny guys, so you could tell that it kind of
oh,
fucked his liver,
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of thing. So, but man, he used to chain smoke cigarettes like crazy, dude. I can't imagine how many packs he'd actually smoke a day. It was at least over two. So, and that's a shitload of cigarettes if you think about it, man.
Yeah,
It's like 40 cigarettes.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, but
Fucking
that's the
carton
thing
was
is,
gross.
yeah, that's the thing is when you go to the next, so you buy the packs and then you go to the cartons. What I don't know is actually I know what the next step is. They used to sell them in cubes.
Yeah,
This
you
was
used to be
the
able to buy a case.
yeah.
So, yeah.
You used to be able to buy a case, especially at like duty free shops, is where they used to. Where I saw those.
Yeah. Because they had like
Oh,
4 cartons in them, if I recall. Weren't
something
they
like
like
that.
that? Yeah, they
It
were like
was.
this. Yeah.
It was like a box. It
Yeah,
was.
and then you could
Yeah,
pull out two or three.
yeah,
Yeah, I think it was 4 in there.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Uh,
I think we bought that once. So,
well, it's not.
it must have
You
been.
don't get it at like 7-Eleven. You don't have to.
No. If I recall, you could get that at King Supers. So,
Something like that, or
yeah.
if so, it was for a very limited time when we were alive. It was not that. I don't think you can get it at King Supers now. I think back in the day you could get it at Sam's Club, but I'm not
Yeah,
entirely
no, we
sure.
were never Sam's Club members, but I remember buying that. You know what? We might have bought it like smoker friendly. Come to think of
That
it,
could be it. Yeah, that could be it.
which is still fucking there.
Is it?
Yeah, I drove by it the other day, man. Over on Circle. I hadn't been there in a long time.
What about the place over there just near Burger King? Are they still open?
Oh, the tobacconist? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's still there.
Oh, really? Stag?
Stag?
Yeah, that's
it's
right.
still there.
Yeah.
I think I've been there like once or twice, ever.
I went there looking for cigars.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I I know that some people. I went in there. I wasn't shopping, but there were quite a few people who went in there looking for cigarette papers.
Yeah. I don't think I ever knew a guy who rolled his own cigarettes.
These were not,
Yeah, no, I get that. I know what they were doing there. So,
but they also sell zigzags at the.
what is the zigzag?
Those are the normal papers that
Just
you use.
normal paper.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
those are the ones that you get at like Diamond Shamrock.
Oh, I didn't know. Yeah, I don't remember.
I knew one guy that rolled his own cigarettes.
I never knew a guy who rolled his own
Yeah,
cigarettes. I did know an asshole used to smoke cloves, though. That guy stank.
I smoked them. I don't.
They're fine, like once, you know?
With this sort of, I said, yeah, it's Halloween or whatever. It's
Whatever.
actually,
Yeah.
you know what? Fuck that. It just depends on the girl that you're with. Because it's not something that guys are going to buy anyway.
No.
It's just if you're hanging out with a girl or whatever that's into it, you end up smoking those.
Yeah, I guess so, man.
It is what it is.
This guy just straight up smoked them. So, he smelled weird.
I don't think they smell bad.
No, but if you smoke if you smoke them for a year, it kind of gets baked into you, man. So this guy, you could smell him coming.
Oh no, listen. All right, I get it. This is. I come from the Asian world, dude. It's
Right.
there's this segment of human beings, these little people with slanty eyes that seem to, whatever it is, they're like, oh man, I just woke up. I'm gonna go ahead and have my normal cup of vinegar for breakfast.
Oh yeah, my digestive. Yeah.
And it's just you smell that because there's so much goddamn vinegar in everything that you do. It's like, yeah, I can smell you a mile away. Kind of like in the same way where you can come across some people and you're like, fuck, man, did you just like eat a raw onion for breakfast? It's like I eat a raw onion for every meal, right? And it's like, because yeah, I can tell. right?
Yeah.
Again, I'm not picking on it, but it is what it is. There's also a reason. Fucking, this is not a like a cultural stereotype. It's like, I don't need to look at your skin to know that you're Indian because I smelled you halfway down the
Oh,
block.
cumin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I'm not fucking with you. It is what it is. That's if it's in your food, you're gonna smell like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to be blunt with you. Like, there's some people from Europe who stink too, man. I've known a couple of them from like Eastern Europe over the years. They smell like garlic. So,
There you go. There you
it's
go.
just like,
Yeah.
it's like that's usually a dinner thing, man, not a breakfast thing.
Yeah, ask. I said,
Yeah.
what did you eat
What
for
did you
breakfast?
eat?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've known a couple where it's just like, man, you got a lot of garlic in your diet, dude. So,
A lot of garlic, or there are people where it's like you eat a shit ton of cabbage, don't you?
okay, yeah,
Cabbage has a distinct
it
smell,
does,
man.
yeah.
I don't hate it,
Okay, I don't hate it
but I
either, but
recognize it.
yeah, and come to think, I've known a couple Germans that have a little bit of that tinge to
There you
them.
go.
Yeah,
Yep.
a little bit of that tinge to them. So, um, but it's been a minute, man. Um, yeah, and then the same thing was true. I mean, so yeah, at the airport we had a couple of guys that we worked with. It was like, yeah, your family's from the Philippines, aren't they?
There you go.
Yeah,
Yep. Yeah.
you guys are
Yeah.
from the Philippines. Yep. So
It's the same thing too. It's like if you knew there is a difference between smoking cigarettes or if you knew a dude that smoked pipe tobacco.
oh yeah, what were we talking about Cowboy the other day?
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
There you go.
So all right, guys who smoke black and milds and nothing but
That one's
dude, it's pipe tobacco in a fucking cigar.
it is. Yeah. There's a
That's what my dad smoked for years. He loved black and milds.
well, a lot of the black and mild crowd is also the crowd that likes menthol cigarettes.
Yeah, no, he just like well, there's like three different types of black and milds. You get the black ones and the red ones. I
And the
can't
vanilla
remember.
ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the vanilla ones. My dad liked the vanilla ones. So, which are the ones that you usually associate with the menthol crowd. So, but he liked the vanilla
Well,
ones. So,
so if you
same
go,
thing with Swisher Sweets.
yeah,
I forgot about those.
same thing.
Yeah.
Like if you you wonder, you go to the liquor store now, and you look at the. There used to be one Smirnoff.
Oh no, there's tons of them now,
Now
man.
you're like, who buys this fucking like grape Smirnoff? Who buys this?
Yeah. Well, it's not just that, man. I mean,
No,
that's a girl
it's a girl thing. I
too,
know, I know. But
yeah,
that's what
exactly.
Schnapps
What
were
do you
for.
get like cherry apple? Schnapps is different though, man. Schnapps has got a lot of syrup in it, man. It's just, yeah, you know,
I'm not disagreeing with you, but
yeah. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I've never really met any schnapps that I liked. So it's
you and
just
I
too
used to
fucking
you and I used
sweet.
to drink
I
Goldschlager.
don't like it though.
I'm not saying
Yeah.
that you do, but we used to
Don't
drink
like
it.
it. I know we used to drink it. That's back when you used to think you're fucking fancy and stuff. It's like
Yeah.
then it was after a little bit you realize it's like, wait a minute, man. So you can get a shitload of this and get a lot more fucked up off that. Than
You're
you
not
can
wrong.
off
No,
this,
you're right. That's a good point. There is a it kind of like when Will was drinking like Mad Dog and stuff. I'm like, there's a how do you say it? Sort of a like a value matrix. It's like this will get
yeah.
the job done
This will get the job done.
for a relatively low price. There's a like I said, there's a fuel efficiency of
Yeah.
it that you can see.
Yeah, and I mean, well, at a certain point in time, it's just expensive piss. So you're like,
More or
okay,
less.
because I went down the Scotch thing for a few years there, and
Yeah.
I don't drink it anymore. I don't like it. So, and it's really expensive. And quite honestly, I mean, like you have to be like really into it to be able to tell the difference between the shit and the really good stuff. So
I think the shit is obvious.
I don't think so anymore, man. I mean, and it depends on what you're talking like shit, when it comes to like scotch. Okay. Are you talking
Well,
Johnny
fair.
Walker Red? That's not shit. That's really good. So scotch, I mean, it only costs $24 a bottle, but it's still really good scotch.
Well, okay, hold on one second. All right, this is the problem here is that by that logic,
Mhm.
you're associating just cost with good or bad, right? Because if you go out there and you buy the vodka like made by Kim Kardashian or something, it's going to
Oh,
cost
it's going
you.
to cost you a
It's
shitload.
going to
It's not
cost you
going to taste any
$200 a
better than
bottle.
Skull. So
Right,
yeah, come
right,
on, man.
right.
Yeah, you're just paying for the name brand at that point. So I'm talking about like actually a good drink, So you can get a decent scotch for not a lot of money. So,
Sure,
and I mean
sure.
the marginal difference between that and your like $200 bottle of scotch is pretty marginal. Okay,
I get you. All right. I guess the biggest way that I can break this down is, yeah, there are things where you can tell the difference, right? And there's stuff where, again, we talked about vodka. Yes, there is bottom shelf stuff in a
there is
plastic
bottom
jug,
stuff.
and
Yeah, it comes
it
with the
tastes
handle.
different.
It tastes a little
Don't
different.
don't pretend like
It's got a
it's
little bit
bad.
more rubbing alcohol.
It most certainly does. So there is a difference. But once you hit this line, you're like, I don't know if Absolute or Grey Goose tastes that much better.
I don't think they taste different at
As a
all.
matter of fact, you could put a blindfold on me, and I'd say,
Yeah,
like, if you gave me the cheap shit, I'm like, yeah, I can tell that's it
yeah.
because it burns like hell on the way down,
You're
right?
right. Yeah,
And then that's the same thing with I don't. There are some Bernie scotches. Don't get me wrong, but
there's
um,
some stinky scotches
there
too,
are some
man.
stinky scotches.
Yeah.
There are some one where it's like this is
It tastes like dirt.
yeah. Well, this is all just
It
like
is dirt.
fucking moss, dude. It's like
It's got bugs in it.
it is, man. This is like fucking earth scotch. I don't know what this is. Brewed outdoors in the ground. Like fuck that. But they're like, but it's really expensive. It's like okay, I get it.
Yeah, I get that.
I can. The other thing is, I can also say in the same way, like gin. Okay, I don't.
You could give me a dozen different gins. I could not tell the difference between them. And I've
Well,
drank a lot of gin.
well, I'll just put it this way:
Yeah.
is like in the same way that I'd go for one of the fucking Ent scotches, right? Um, if I'm in the mood for that, that's cool. In the same way that I would go for gin, right?
Yeah.
I don't want it that often, but every now and then it's like
No.
nothing tastes like this. And
Yeah,
this
no.
is,
Yeah. No, but yeah, I mean, you could taste test me on gin, and I would fuck it up every single time. So, I mean, you could put the same five gins in there, I'd get them wrong every single time.
okay, well, all right, that's fine. I
Yeah,
agree with you.
I can't
Yeah,
taste the difference between most gin. Unless it's like weird and it's got like fucking juniper berries in it and shit,
if it is, yeah.
But if it's just straight up like English gin, you can put like really good gin in there, and I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. So between that and maybe like second shelf gin or third shelf gin, so let alone well, so
I say I don't know what is the bottom of the barrel gin. I don't.
I don't even know, man. So I don't drink gin at the bar, so I couldn't tell you. So you know, whatever their well gin, well, and their well gin is not always bad. Like sometimes well liquor's fine. You know,
I imagine. Yeah.
well, sometimes it's like recognizable brand. Like you go to a lot of places, what's their well whiskey going to be? It's going to be Jack Daniels. Okay,
See,
fine
okay,
by me.
I'll bet you. I'll bet you I could put at least five different whiskeys in front of you with a blindfold, and you could probably tell which one is which.
Whiskey's different. I drank a lot of whiskey,
I bet
so
you
I
could.
can tell you the difference between like Jack and Jim, and I can definitely tell out JMO. It's Irish whiskey
Yeah.
in there. But if you gave me like three different Irish whiskeys, I probably couldn't tell them apart. So if you gave me like Jameson and like fucking
Crown.
Blackbush, Crown is Canadian, I could pick
Yeah.
that one out.
Yeah.
So usually, but
It's still my favorite, to be honest with you.
Crown Royal, yeah,
I mean, it's always good to have around. Let me put it that way.
yeah.
Right. It's never going to do you wrong.
No, nope. No, I always like Crown. I don't like the flavored ones either. So I mean, they're fine.
Well,
But
fuck with that. But
I've had the apple one. It's like
you know what? I have had that. That's sort of
that's okay.
well, it's kind of like in that same regard. Like somebody said it this way. I'm trying to remember who said it. It was pretty funny. It's like he offered just casually. It was like an insult, but it wasn't an insult. But it absolutely was an insult. It was. He's like, "Do you take sugar and cream with your coffee?" Like what? It's like if you take a lot of these, right? Then every coffee will taste the same.
Okay.
Right. And so in that same regard, it's sort of
I see
like
what you're saying.
yeah, when people are saying like we need to add some kind of like orange like Fanta or whatever to this whiskey. It's like
Fucking
then you don't
cinnamon.
like whiskey.
Yeah, we're gonna
And that's
turn it
okay.
into a fireball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
drink something else because you don't like whiskey.
You don't like whiskey.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Like, go drink something else,
Yeah, I've had the apple whiskey. It's not awful.
No, but it's
I
got
just don't
apples
need
in
it.
my whiskey, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't need that.
I don't need it. Again,
Just whiskey, please.
yeah, I'm with you, dude. It's not. Uh, it's a very distinctive drink. It has its own particular flavor. There's sure. It has it has a personality. I mean, that's the thing is uh, you really can see the variances within it. So I mean,
You
it's
can. I
quite
mean,
fine.
if you get into it a little bit. I don't know. I get more simple in my tastes as I get older. So,
Not for some things. I mean, it's the problem here is for me to basically downplay it. I would look at this and say, all right, so it'd be like, what are you complaining about? I have Tabasco here, right?
right.
And a person would say, well, I like sriracha, or I like
Sriracha.
red hot, or I like these things. And I would say, what do you mean? They're all hot sauces.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So hot sauce is something I've gotten a little pickier on lately. You found one there. I started getting the Tapatios. So the West Coast one,
Yeah.
yeah, it's good. So it's like I finally got off the Cholula, which I still love, but
It's fine.
it's fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I started finding Tapatios, and I was like, oh, this is good.
Tapatio was I don't know if we said it like that. I think we said tapatio. I don't know. It's again, it's the same
Tio is
thing.
uncle, so it's Uncle Tapa. I don't know what Tapa is.
Well, that's to imply that it doesn't become a different word when they're
It
combined.
might, yeah.
I
You
don't.
never know.
I do not
Spanish
know.
is kind of like that.
But I mean,
Mm.
based on that, it would be like Uncle Tapa.
Yeah, or it might be like I don't know. I'll have to look. I haven't gotten to so my Spanish, my vocab is the problem now. Okay, so I've got I get all the lexicon and I get all the
Sure,
sentence
sure.
structure and stuff like that, and it's really easy. Now it's just a matter of vocab. And that's kind of interesting when you're learning the language once you run into that. So, and it's like, okay, I can get around town, but I don't know what that is. It's a keyboard. I get it. El monitor, that kind of thing. And you start
Yeah,
realizing
yeah.
that there actually are words for most of these things. It's not the language isn't 90% English anglicized, words. So, you know,
No, you're correct. I mean, it's in. I will say in Japanese, a lot of it is. A lot of it is English influence to say that. All right, yes, they do have
yeah,
words for this, but they don't use them.
right,
They just
yeah.
use the English equivalent instead, right?
Yeah. So, but Spanish is not like that, man. So there are things that sound similar, okay, but it's like just about everywhere you look, there's actually already a word for that is not anglicized. Okay,
Right,
yeah.
right.
So, and once you start to realize that, because I've gotten better at reading Spanish lately. And it's like, I don't know what this word is. I get what it's doing in this part of the sentence,
Right,
okay, but it's a
right.
verb that I do not understand.
That I can understand. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, there is one tool that I have used
Mhm.
that is actually very good at that, and it's not as complex as it sounds. It is just actually flashcards you do on your phone.
Oh, okay.
It's a one-time charge, and I have used it quite a lot. And it has a lot of options in terms of flipping these around. Do you want definitions first? Do you want word first? Do you want me to randomize these? Do
Oh,
you
see,
want
that's
these in
kind of
order?
cool.
Because I have found no other thing actually makes those things stick except for doing this over and over.
Man, I haven't done flashcards in ages.
You
So
think you're past it,
you're not.
but you're not. That's the trick.
I can't remember what I used them for last. It was actually not that. It was not that long ago. I can't remember when it
Yeah,
was though. So
that does work. I mean, I right now I am working on the. I don't even know how many goddamn verb forms there are, and the fact that they have causative, passive causative,
that's
polite.
interesting.
Um, and so, fortunately, I have had I've had success in drills on those. And believe it or not, the best companion for this is Grok, because if you
Yeah.
if you set the parameters and say, all right, so I want this, right, and I want you to quiz me on these,
Hmm.
and I want you to quiz me on these things here, and tell me where I'm making mistakes, right? That is way more beneficial than any of the online programs that I've seen,
Hmm.
because they don't have that same kind of live, you know, it's, no, no, no. We cannot move on to 49 until I understand all the basics. And again,
Yeah.
this is just to give you an impression of how stupid this is. All right, so you have, all right, if you're going to go causative, what you do is you take the last, it's not even a word, it's not a letter, it's the
Excuse
last
me.
uh, glyph. Um, and then you change that to the A form, then you add, say, uh, then you add Seru, right? But the thing is,
So what's a causative verb? Give me an example.
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't. I'm working with them. I am not doing all the things where you say I would use this
Okay.
here in this particular case. As far as I know,
What's
this
a
is
causative verb in English?
we don't have them.
Yeah, okay.
We don't have
All
them.
right. I was about
That's
to
what
say,
I'm
what the
talking about.
fuck is
This is one of
that?
the beef things I have is like your system sucks
Right.
because we don't have that many forms. We get way more done with less, right?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so we're gonna this. Yeah, you change the second hieroglyph to A, and then you add Seru. But that is the textbook version,
Right.
right? The thing is, it's sort of like chemistry, where if in that transaction you have these two things, say and root together, it turns into Su,
Right.
right? Now, Seru, right? That is Seru, two hieroglyphs, and then it changes to one with Su. Now, the thing is with that, when you're turning that into a different form,
Hmm.
right? That new thing is how you actually construct the new word, depending on whether you're going for the dictionary form or the casual form. Where the casual form,
Yeah, I'm out.
you
I'm
don't.
done.
It's not like you're doing chemistry where you just go ahead and it's not stoichiometry where you're
Right, right,
crossing
right.
off unit conversions. It's all right. If these two things ever touch, they become this. So the next form will be this
Right. It's
based
now
off of
carbon
this,
monoxide. Yeah.
and it's not you
It's
don't
looking
balance
for
it.
another isotope. Got it.
And so I look at this and I say, all right, I get the textbook version,
Hmm.
right? Would people understand if I just spoke the textbook version? It's like they might understand you, but 90% of people don't speak that way. I'm like, all right, so I guess I just have to learn
So are you
both.
learning this as an academic exercise? You actually just want to learn how to speak the language.
It's both.
Oh, okay.
It's there's two components of it. Is the I do like seeing the language comparison, right? Because
Hmm.
one thing I said again that it is nice being able to go back and forth with this thing when you're having an issue. Uh, the thing that I the thing that I said about these like millions of forms that they have here and exceptions was, are you telling me that that species of human fucking understands this in real time and they conjugate this as they're doing it? He's like, God, no.
Hmm.
Right? Even Grok is like, God, no. They don't do that. It's just they've heard these forms all their life. So it's just
Well, you grow up with it. It's different.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, right? Versus like if we're looking at this like, so I need the future infinitive.
Carry the one.
Right. So you might be sitting there talking with the guy at the gas station, and he's like, "What do you want, man?" And you're just kind of like, "All right, we'll be doing. Is that it? We'll have done.
Will have done.
Yes,
Yes.
we'll be doing. Ah,
Will
okay,
be have done.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, no, man, that's so I tried Japanese for like a fucking week and I was like, no, I'm good. So it was just I mean, I'm glad you're doing it, man, but that's just too much cognitive overload for me. I just don't have the brain width for that
Well, it's
anymore.
that's sort of the goal of this here is like for me. I know this is sort of my this is one of my defenses against brain rot is I know this is part that's using my brain in ways that I'm not traditionally
Yeah.
using them. I know that there's new things to it. I know that there's uh, I know that we want to think about language as just okay. So if I if I can crack a little piece of this, if I can listen to 15 minutes of this, and I can see your word for green is this,
Right. I can
and
just plug it in. Yeah.
you're
It
like,
doesn't work
oh,
like
you
that.
mean hand, right?
Yeah.
And you're looking for that simple conversion, and then you see how things are different, and then you also see like, oh my God, the story of your language is the story of your culture,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And I mean that's funny because it's the same way I see Americans, right? American English is not British English. It's not Indian English. It's not Australian English, right?
Nope.
It is as far more versatile.
Mhm.
And that is exactly how I view Americans compared to essentially the rest of the world.
Yeah. I mean, you might view it differently if, like, you were born into a country that was part of a family of languages. So you're born in Italy.
Yes.
Okay, then you want to learn French. It's okay. Now it's just a matter of vocab and pronunciation. Okay, so
Yeah.
because your structure is exactly the
Spanish and
same.
Italian.
Spanish, Italian, same thing.
Then you get to German.
Then you get to Germany, and it's all weird and angry. Yeah. So you get to English, it's a little bit of both, but there's a lot of fucked up rules that don't make any sense to anybody.
Yeah.
So, but
And then you hit the Slavic
and then
countries.
you hit the Slavic countries, and they all speak Martian, as far as I'm concerned.
It's
So,
well, yeah, I agree.
you know, um, let alone Japanese, which is, I think I read this somewhere that Japanese, the most closely related to language on planet Earth, is Turkic. So,
Uh, I don't know. I mean, I know that they actually drafted the rules for Klingon. I don't know if it's.
it's in the first edition
I
book.
don't.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know about Turkic. Where so I know that the problem with Japanese. Well, one of the problems with Japanese is. Yeah, you must have worked in a place like this where. All right. Do you ever work in a place where you're like, all right, so this is we know we're using this program.
Hmm.
This is our computer system.
Hmm.
And then a year and a half later, some swindler comes in and they say, like, we're updating the
Oh yeah,
computer systems. And all it is
dozens of
basically an
places.
interface
Yeah.
that does one extra thing, but just pastes over
Hmm.
the original system, right?
Yep. But you need to learn all new inputs now.
Right.
Yep.
But at the same time, you cannot pitch the old stuff
Nope.
because the new thing is
Because
completely
you
on that.
still have your fucking inventory in the old one. Yes.
Correct. And so when you rip off the Chinese, right,
Mhm.
many, many thousands of years ago, or whatever it is, right? When you rip them off
Mhm.
and you have to carry that over, but
Mhm.
then you add this, and then you have to add this secret alphabet
Mhm.
that the nobles used, but now is basically the way that you say,
Well, that's because you're adding 1,000 years of history on there.
right.
So yeah, I mean, there's.
Well, English is that old. So,
Well, I'm talking about Japanese in
but yeah,
particular.
yeah.
So yeah, I have no idea about the origins of English. So I don't think anybody really does, to tell you the truth, because like fucking like how old is Stonehenge? It's like 14,000 years, something ridiculous. So
I think it's something like that.
it's older than
It's older than
Egypt.
you think, but
Yeah,
it's
it's
younger than you think
well,
too.
everything is younger
Yeah,
than you think it is
yeah.
too. I mean,
Well,
you
yeah, it's
know,
like they didn't construct those fucking dinosaurs. It's
no, that was a long time ago.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. But then, like, it's kind of interesting. I've been listening to these podcasts the other day, last couple
What are you
days.
listening to?
I am listening to, it's called like Happy Planets or something like, no. Uh,
Wow.
it's hosted by this astrophysicist,
Oh, okay.
who was explaining like the age of the Earth the other day,
Ah, all
as
right.
compared to the age of the universe, so which they can measure based upon the event horizon
Yes.
of the Big Bang, if that's what you believe.
Well, I know that they're struggling with this, but yeah,
It's kind of what the data shows.
yeah.
So anyway, this guy, I got hooked on him because he was talking about all these like different kinds of like contradictions in astrophysics. that they're not seeing in astronomy. So he's more of an astronomer than he is a physicist. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
And so he was talking about, well, this is like ideal with observables. This is what we can observe, so to speak. Kind of stuff. But then he was weaving it in with like, not just the geological history of the Earth, but also, the stuff that has to do with, paleo biology, kind of thing, where they can, reverse engineer using some of this AI stuff now to like, okay, how long would it take for this to happen, kind of thing. And all these things kind of converge around the same spot, and so they're kind of settling on that, so to speak.
When you're talking about like converging, you're not talking about like geology, are you?
No, no, no. Geology is a little bit different,
Okay.
but in terms of like different phases of the Earth, what are the different like elements of what is the evidence that's still left today that lead us to those conclusions? And there's several of them that converge on certain points, and so they're like, okay, so we
Oh,
have
okay.
multi-directional confirmation of like, okay, life started on the planet probably about 4 billion years ago, and the planet's
Okay,
only
okay.
four
Yeah.
point 7 billion years old, and so life actually started on planet Earth very early, so kind of thing.
Comparatively.
Comparatively, but he was also talking about like in specific, and this was something that really kind of blew my mind because I'd never heard somebody argue this. So like, all right, so we have the Big Bang, the ever expanding, accelerating universe kind of thing.
Yes.
Okay, which is kind of where the consensus is now. All right, so
Yes.
it doesn't confirm it, but that's kind of the idea.
Right.
So okay, so at what point in time do the bonds of gravity actually break and the universe basically stops? Kind of like, and everything gets so far apart that it just matter will no longer coalesce and it cools down and it just goes back to being nothing, so to speak, or at least that's the idea. He's like at the minimum estimate that's 10 trillion years from now. So if the universe was a book with 1,000 pages, all that's been written is the first page, the first word, the first letter of that.
Right. Right.
It was just kind of mind-boggling. It was like, all right, so yeah, it's 14,000 years ago. Seems like a long time, but it's really not, man. Or at least not in the
The
actual
cosmic
spectrum,
numbers,
the
right.
cosmos,
Yeah.
the cosmic, consideration of time. The other thing he was talking to us about is like the Earth has already passed its boron date, in terms of like how long it's going to be able to sustain life. So it's 4.7 billion years or something like that old, 4 billion of which has actually sustained life of some kind, only about 400 million of which has sustained some kind of complex life, let alone intelligent life. It's only got about 1 billion years left, okay, before it actually becomes inhabitable to any form of life. So, because and he says not that sun won't consume the Earth for another 4 billion years, but it'll become uninhabitable, just like we see with Mars and Venus within 1 billion years. And so, if you were going to write a book on that, and it was 4 chapters long, 3 of those chapters have already been written. So,
Right. Right.
anyway, it was interesting stuff.
I always see that from the other perspective in terms of, when you're talking about like if this is the start, this is the end.
Mm-hmm.
I always see that in terms of like, all right, well, this is the beginning, and this is where we are now, and it's like take the thinnest pencil lead that you can and draw this here at the end, and that's where we are.
Exactly. Yeah. Tiny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, and that's sort of, Patrick. The weird thing about that is when people talk about, they say there must be life on other planets elsewhere. I'm like, I don't know. The thing is,
Yeah.
well, it's not. Nobody cares if it's some kind of like fucking germ.
It's a bug.
Right?
Yeah.
Nobody cares. Yeah, if it's at least a bug is something, right?
Well, bug is a very complex piece of biology.
Right.
So
Right.
that kind of blew my mind. I didn't really think about it because I thought there had been bugs around for like 1 billion years. No. So for like of those 4 billion years, like almost all of them, like 3.5 billion of those years, was basically like not even bugs. It was like germs.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Is
Nobody's gonna care.
yeah. If you
Yeah.
come out there and they say like we finally cracked it, it's like what'd you find? It's like space grass. It's like it's
Space weeds.
yeah. Nobody's dick is getting hard because like at first like the scientific community they're gonna like this is amazing, right?
Oh yeah.
But every other layperson is like,
where's the aliens?
where's the
Where are
aliens?
the fucking
Like,
Klingons at? Yeah.
Yeah. And you sit there and you break down and you say like, okay, we only have one intelligent species on this planet.
Yeah, I mean, we've got others that are pretty smart, but they don't use
Yeah, but they
technology.
can't drive a
Yeah,
stick shift. That's
no, they
that's
can't
sort of
drive a
that's
stick
sort of
shift.
like
Exactly. Yeah. I mean,
that's sort of it.
that's kind of a dividing line there that does separate people from everything. Because
Yeah,
yeah, you can find monkeys who use sticks to bite ants or whatever,
or make art.
or make
Yes,
art, but they were here longer than we've been
that's
here.
correct.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, right.
And they still use that to actually like pick their butts and stuff. You
That is
know.
correct.
And
Our version were like, look, we have to get away from you, and we will be in a spot where only
yeah,
we survive.
that's
Right.
one of the thing about evolution that I've seen a couple arguments on this. In particular, it's like, well, why does it stop in certain situations? They say, well, you hit in carrying capacity or something like that. It's like, really? Because, like, I mean, you got to kind of like work that through and think about it a little bit. It's like, okay, so if that one hits carrying capacity, why does another population start that goes further than that? So
Right.
I mean, I'm not too familiar with some of the arguments around that and things like that, but it seems like climate change is something that people take for granted. But if you think about it a little bit, it's like, well, wait a minute. How much explanatory power does this actually have? All right. So I get, it tells us where species go to at some point in time, but it doesn't tell us why they stop. It doesn't tell us how that process starts. I mean, it's basically you're explaining very small windows in this very large piece of really very small slivers of this very large tapestry. Here that we don't really fully understand because it's unobservable.
Well, that's it. It's the you don't know what you don't know situation. It's so
Correct.
when I was in that argument with Grok, and I was saying all of our Islamic problems can be solved with nuclear weapons. That's where.
You're just fucking with it, man. Come on.
Well, no, this was the thing. It was like, but it's he's like, but here are the examples. He's like, but here are the examples where civilizations were effectively essentially destroyed, but it had an uprising. This I'm like, but what about the civilizations that are gone? It's like you can't tell me about the
No, because
civilizations
we
that are
don't know
gone
about them.
because they're gone,
Yeah, and we don't
right?
know about them. And I mean, people say, "Oh, the fall of Rome." I was like, "Fucking, it's still there, dude." You
Yeah, and it's pieces of
you
it.
can fly to it. It's really nice. Say, "Oh, the fall of the Roman Empire." It's like it never fucking fell. Okay, I mean, Rome didn't get
Well,
obliterated. It didn't. Okay, it evolved into something different.
right,
Okay,
right,
I
right.
mean, and
Okay,
you say, okay, so eventually it evolved into like Charlemagne. Okay, and eventually that evolved into like fucking France. All right,
right.
France is still a thing. Last time I checked,
There are pieces of it that go all the way up to Britain. So I mean,
exactly. They go
yeah,
out to Britain. They go all the way down to Persia.
Greece.
Whatever.
Yeah,
So and it's like, all right, so you can't use that as a fallen civilization example. Same thing's true with the Incas, all right, or the Mayans, or even the Aztecs. They say, oh, they got wiped out. They did not get wiped out. Okay, it just evolved. It changed. And like it's crazy when you hear this death of Western civilization. It's like, what the fuck does that look like? You're kidding me, right? You guys haven't thought about this more than 5 seconds. You know,
look, and I will say this: there were. I guarantee you that there were examples of essentially civilization destroying people where it's like, no, do not take their children, do not mate with their women, destroy it all,
they'd be
right?
so far back in history.
But
I
I'm
mean, they'd
saying,
be
yeah,
beyond the written word.
you have no idea.
We have no idea because none of
Exactly.
that was ever recorded. But then again, if you do take a look at the sample set that we do have, there is never been a civilization that was completely wiped off the map. Okay, so there really isn't. Because, well, okay, there's not a part of the earth that's been depopulated and not repopulated in one way or another. Okay, those parts that were completely depopulated, show me where. Where is that? Okay, because I
Well,
can look anywhere on the
okay,
globe and I cannot find an example of that.
that is to say, okay, so I guess it depends on where the civilization part that you come in because you say, like, all right, now if these were a branch of these people and they were wiped out entirely, right?
Yeah,
Then is that a separate civilization? I think that's going to be sort of where you
I,
draw the line. Because, yeah,
I think you're drawing lines around, groups and categories for convenience that are not necessarily indicative of actual differential traits and
that that's
characteristics.
sort of like where it comes in. Because,
Yeah.
yeah, if you have a group that basically breaks off for, say, like a religious schism or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Puritans sail to America. Is it a different civilization? I would argue no. I would say America is a different country. Okay, but does that make it a different civilization? Maybe after 1,000 years?
This is the thing.
Sure.
Is just enough time, sort of.
Who knows, man? I mean, quite honestly, it like I said, it's where you want to if it's where you want to separate, your Legos. I mean, are you separating them into like size or color?
Kind of. I mean,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah.
So yeah, and that's a choice that you're making in some situations. And so, now we can talk about the death of nations. All right, that's different. Okay, when you talk about a
Yeah,
political
yeah.
entity, something that's a nation state, Nazi Germany does not exist anymore.
This is true.
Germany does. Germans do. Okay, so, I mean, all right, so where are you going to cut the line here? So,
So we can also say that in certain things, like the Holy Roman Empire, does not exist.
does not exist. Its jewels are out there, but
Right.
it has no power or authority anymore.
Right.
But Romans and Catholics and fucking Germans and Austrians and Dutch, they all still exist. So was this actually the death of a civilization? No.
Debatable.
Well, I mean, if civilization is like
Exactly.
everything, then, okay, well, obviously that's wrong because some of it still exists,
The question is if you're going to be sitting with someone that is going to be arguing counterpoints, just to argue counterpoints.
Yeah,
right?
please. Yeah.
Because I think that
That's
it's
almost
something
as
that-
interesting.
yeah, I'll say it this way. It's something that you can't be mad about when people see it subjectively different from you, right?
No.
That's sort of my take on it here. But yeah, you can look at this and there, you could say effectively, or you could say it totally, or just like the version that's like, yeah, they're just not here. You could argue that, again, you could argue that, yeah, the Incas are gone, right?
You could.
You could say that so in the same way, if you have a civilization and all you have left are skeletons, right?
That one's gone.
Well,
That one's gone.
I mean, these are people. They were
Yeah.
here, right? All that's here are their remains. It's like, okay, so do their remains count as bones, but also not structures? I'm like,
No, nobody really knows. And I mean,
Yeah.
the interesting thing is like, it's almost like what kind of clothes you want to put on a dog, so to speak.
okay, yeah,
Because like, I mean, I've seen these things lately where, even there's guys who live in England who their DNA traces back tens of thousands of years. Okay, and you
Okay,
can find that in places all over the world. Okay, so
that is true.
but they have I think I read an article about this not too long ago. I think it might have been in Geo, where this guy lived like a mile and a half from a burial site. Like in England.
What?
Well, it was one that they were uncovering. They said, "Oh, well, shit, we got some DNA testable evidence here. Let's see if any of the locals are still around." They found a guy half a mile from the site, so whose his lineage traced back through his parents.
You're kidding
Yeah,
me.
all the way to that site, and then they found another guy in Germany. It's the same way, and it's like, well, so it was like, hey, man, I mean, this whole migration thing, maybe it doesn't really do what we think it does,
I think sometimes it does. I think sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
I mean, there's a version of this where okay, so you were asking about like evolution of certain animals and stuff.
Sure.
Right? Okay, so there is, and I know that people have tried to like illegally make contact with that tribe that is still
in India?
uninterrupted, right?
Yeah, it's in an island in India where they gutted and ate that guy.
Right. This is exactly the point. So you wonder, you say like, so why hasn't this turtle changed?
Right.
In the same way you look at this tribe, it's like because they don't need to. If they're still eating, if they're still thriving in whatever way, if their lineage is still being passed on, the turtle doesn't need to change.
Right.
But what I can tell you is in places, say, where it is cold, right? You will adapt at some point because you will die otherwise.
Yeah,
Right.
or you'll never grow or whatever.
Right. Right.
Yeah, who knows, man? I mean, it's just there's not as much explanatory power in evolutionary biology and evolutionary psychology that I think a lot of people give credence to.
Right.
More so than anything else. The same thing, that's my problem with history too. There's a lot of lessons in history that don't tell us what people want them to tell us. So,
Well, well, Patrick, in the same way, it's like you're applying a Marxist or feminist interpretation of this before those things existed.
Yeah, that doesn't really work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can
or
do it.
well, you can do it, but I mean, fuck, yeah, you can use, I don't know, you can color in a coloring book with piss. I mean, if you really want to. I
What is it? It's a was a like a hammer is a tool or so. What is this thing
right,
where it's
yeah,
like it's the only
exactly.
thing in your
It's the only thing in
toolbox?
your toolbox.
Yeah,
Everything starts to look like a nip.
that's it.
It's like,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
asshole, that's a screw. Well, not if I hit it hard enough.
Well, and are you going to tell me that there aren't people who basically use Marxism as their hammer? And yeah, everything looks like a nail, of course.
There are,
Yeah.
Marxism, critical theory, all kinds of different stuff. But I mean, people do that with American history too, and stuff like that. You can even take a look at traditionalist type forms of history out there, like great man theory, and that doesn't do what you think it does most of the time. Okay, it doesn't actually teach you any lessons. It just teaches you that Caesar was good. It doesn't teach you why. you know? So
Again,
I mean, you might want it to teach you why because you like the fact that, I don't know, he had 9 girlfriends at any given point in time. So, and a bald man,
lots of guys in history have
and
had
lots of,
that.
yeah, but a bald guy can really be in charge of everything. Cool. It doesn't teach you that. It teaches that he was able to do that. So,
Well, also that's contingent upon he was able to do that at that moment in time,
yeah, sure.
right? Because the conditions, and look, there's a version of things where you say, like, okay, so does Thomas Edison become Thomas Edison if it's not that exact time in that kind of, situation? It's
Would
like,
he have been that if he wasn't deaf? I mean,
right,
you don't know.
right.
So, yeah, I
The
mean,
same thing with Beethoven. It's
sure. He didn't start out deaf. Thomas Edison, I think he was deafened when he was a child, if I'm not mistaken. Beethoven went deaf over time,
right.
if I'm not mistaken. And he had the thing where he had to lay on the floor and listen to the piano. So with his head on the yeah,
That could be a movie, but it could also be true.
You're right. I'm sorry, I haven't investigated the
I
life and
don't
times of
know.
Beethoven.
I mean, that kind of sounds
Yeah.
familiar, but that could all be bullshit, man. There's a lot of
There's a
people. It's
lot of
like
shit in history that could be all bullshit.
there's a lot of people who
So
think that the life of Mozart was that movie Amadeus, and like
right,
it could have some elements, but I've heard it
might
is
be.
very, very, very
Yeah,
inaccurate.
yeah,
But I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
that's
Well, there could have been a guy like Mel Gibson who actually did save the revolution.
no.
But I
What's
don't think it
weird
was
is
this guy. Yeah.
what's weird is
So who had a farm with no slaves on it?
living where?
Where? What do you pay them with, sir?
Compassion.
Compassion.
It's yeah, you're right. And what's interesting is history actually does have enough interesting figures, right? Where you probably could pull from these examples, but I think a lot of times you're going to be pulling the same examples over and over again. If you want to tell that story of that fucking lunatic that was like, fighting on the British side, where he didn't take a gun into World War II, he carried like a claymore sword.
Yeah, that's actually true.
It is true.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's you could probably tell his story, but even then, you'd probably have to zhuzh it up a little bit.
You definitely have to zhuzh it up a little bit. I'm sure he said things are way too racist for Hollywood.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay.
I think you're okay with that, man. But it's not going to go over well with test audiences.
It depends on the test audience.
You can't salt your own field, man. I mean,
Listen, there's those Tarantino movies did fine. And if you want to talk about problematic stuff, you'd be like,
he
this
really
was,
toned that down in the last one, didn't he? Now that I think about it.
well, it wasn't really appropriate.
Yeah, I guess not. Maybe, but I mean, even that is kind of him toning it down because he's picking a different story where he can sidestep those issues that he
Well,
didn't do before.
well, I mean, he can't write, Pulp Fiction 1, 2, and 3. He's not that guy.
Oh, he
Um,
sure tried with Kill Bill. So,
he did, and I can research that at some point. There's again, I don't know where I rank those. I think they're sort of like in the middle of his
what, Kill Bill?
movies. I think they're fine,
You're fine.
but it seems I don't want to say polarizing. I don't know anybody that's really I hate this movie.
Oh, Kill Bill? No.
Yeah, but I think there's some people where you say like it's in
Take it or
there,
leave it. Yeah.
and other people who say it's their favorite. So it's It's kind of a mix, and there's a lot of division about people who like the first or the second one better.
Oh, and Kill Bill.
Yeah,
Ooh, that's a tough call, actually.
as I can tell you, there's parts of both movies I
I
like
really
better,
like, yeah.
and then there's parts that I can gladly do without. Um, I'm like this, the second movie is like, man, this is taking a while to get started. And there's a scene where I don't even know what point it serves when she's talking to that weird Mexican guy. Well, not even Mexican. I don't know what part of Latin
Oh yeah,
America.
the guy who like you can smell his cigarettes through the
You,
fucking screen.
yeah,
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 exactly.
and you
It's
see
like,
the
dude, you are not long for this earth, bro.
and they're making it a point to show like the working girls with the fucked up faces and stuff. I have no idea what point that serves in the movie.
I don't either. Other than to just point her towards Bill's house. So, because that's what the guy ultimately does.
Because it's like his like dad or whatever, not his dad, but like the guy that he used
Somebody,
to
yeah,
hang around with. She does get frustrated to the point where she's like, "Where's Bill? That's I'm asking you. That's this," and he keeps going. It's
yeah.
like, "As you know, what we used to the
Well,
American
dude,
movies."
that guy needs a glass of water. Every like,
Oh yeah,
yeah, he just
yeah.
smacks
No,
his fucking teeth, man. It's like disgusting. Yeah.
so yeah, if anybody told me that this is so stupid, it took me right out of the movie. It was so boring. But there's also the point where you say, but there is that like you see the training stuff in the second one, and that's a lot of people's favorite part of the movie.
Or with Pai Mei, or
That's correct.
yeah,
Yeah.
that is really good part. I don't know. I like it when she kills Michael Madsen. So,
Oh, you mean L the because she doesn't kill Michael Madsen.
oh
No,
no, yeah,
Daryl Hannah kills.
Daryl Hannah, that she pulls her eye out. Yeah,
That's correct.
and
But
leaves her in the room with the snake.
well,
No, that's right. Yeah, he gets killed by the snake.
he gets killed
So
by the snake, but he's the only person that just says
gets a drop on her. So
it's like, well, so a lot of people have been like sword fighting you. I'm going to shoot you with
I'm going
rock
to shoot
salt.
you with rock salt and put you in a box.
See, again, that's kind of why I may like this one a little bit more. Um,
I thought the first one's got really good fight scenes in it, though.
that's
The one
exactly
with the
it.
first girl, where like her daughter's coming home from school, is like one of my
It's
favorites.
amazing. Yeah,
Yeah,
and she
yeah,
puts the gun in the fucking cereal box, and
exactly.
yeah, like I always pictured. Right there's a version of things where I always thought that he was going to end his. I thought he was going to conclude his movie career. Where there's this part in that movie where she goes to her kid and says like, "If you ever have a problem with this later on, you come find me."
Hmm.
Right? I always thought that was going to be like his concluding movie. I thought he left that
Hmm.
so open. Um, but I mean, it's like I
Oh.
did two of these movies.
Yeah, he did too. I don't think there was actually plans to make a third one with that. I
I
mean,
think there was.
well, my understanding was that he really wanted to do like an actual Star Trek film.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, as his
one
last
hundred percent.
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah.
I mean that franchise is so fucked right now. That's
Oh my
probably what it
god.
would need. So, yeah.
Okay, so if you want to talk something again, it's sort of in the same way that I have love for that David Lynch Dune, right?
Mhm.
There is something that you can say like there are major problems here. This
In the
is
David Lynch one?
oh yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
In the same way that if you put Star Trek and Tarantino, I'd be like there are major problems here, but it is unique.
It would be unique,
This is
man.
very
Yeah.
unique, and I respect that. I didn't say it was good, but it
No.
is very unique.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if he could actually do that and go in the future. I mean, oh, so many of his movies are set like historically and stuff like
Yes,
that.
yes.
I mean, even if you consider like the '90s to be historical now,
I hate to say it. Well, you tell me. Do you feel like from hindsight now, because it has now been
30 years.
yeah. Do you like when you watch a '90s movie? Does it feel like a '90s movie?
Yeah,
What is that? What is that sort of? What is that energy that you feel in a '90s? Because it's there. I
yeah.
just can't put a word to it.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about that. I can't think of anything off the top of my head
But it
that
definitely
really.
feels like something, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I feel that way about 80s movies. I mean, 80s movies, like, man, they feel like when I see an 80s movie now, it feels like watching a movie with a paper bag over my head. So,
That's a very interesting way to go. Why?
I don't know. It's just there's something about it that's really campy, and almost
Oh,
like
okay, okay, okay.
um I don't know, man, because I did go on a 1980s Spielberg kick there for a little bit. Um, but your Indiana Jones movies are in there, and those feel fresh. Um,
Well, let me ask you this. Okay, is there a version of things where, all right, so we weren't really there for Raiders, right? We were
no,
just too young, right?
no, and I was too young for Temple of Doom too. I didn't go see that. So,
I didn't see it, but Temple of Doom was everywhere. There's sort of this like
uh-huh.
historicism on this one where people see it as like everybody hated this. Like, no, a lot of people were
Oh, they loved it.
way
What
into
are you
this movie.
talking about, dude? So,
Uh,
dude, the whole minecart scene was like classic. I
oh
mean,
yeah, this
people
is
loved
we
that
do
shit
this.
for years. They had a fucking
This
ride
is
on it
Disney, yeah,
in Universal
or
Studios.
Universal, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. With the actor Indy like running around in the
yeah,
yeah. So
and getting chased by the ball, thus messing up two movies. You're mixing up two movies because you rode in the fucking minecart, and then you watched the show where he ran away from the ball. So
right,
yeah,
right. And this is the kind of the weird thing is there is a little bit of a historic past where it's like no everybody hated this movie.
no, they didn't.
But that's the thing is like
That's not true.
they didn't. But
Yeah.
is there a version of this where you could look at this and say, all right, as an '80s movie, if I don't if I don't subscribe to the cheese that's here, right? If I'm a little bit younger and I'm seeing this for the first time, is there a way
Oh,
that you
you're
look at it and
yeah,
say like
no.
this is corny? This is
Okay, so I saw someone put this really good a little
okay,
while ago.
yeah,
It was like, all right, so all media and culture, when you as you grow up, anything that you ingest from the age of from about 0 to 15 is your baseline.
okay,
Anything that was produced before that is crap. Anything that was produced between the ages of like 18 and 30, okay, is cutting edge, new and cool, okay, compared to like your 15-year base. Anything after 35 to 40 is also crap. So you look at the new shit and you say, I've already seen this. so, so you have this moving window of like 15 to maybe 20 years where you engage with everything new that comes out. Okay. But eventually you burn out on it because you've seen some version of that before. So, and then it's like, well, this one's not as good as that one, so, or I remember that one being better than this one, kind of thing. And then, so eventually you do get to the point in time where you've seen and heard and done enough where it's not novel anymore. And so, no matter how crazy it is, you can always tie it back to something that you experienced between those first 35 years, whether they be your 15-year baseline period or your 15-year, growth period.
right.
Eventually, you get to the point in time, and I am absolutely fucking there. I can tell you
You're
that.
there.
I
Yeah,
am
yeah.
totally there, man. Because now I'm at the point in time. I was like, yes, I have seen this before. I will Google it to see if I want to go see it, and I will read the plot before I if it's something I've already seen, man, I'm good. You know?
Well,
So,
this is all right. So I will have to break ranks with you here because this is just me personally, right?
mhm,
And I also am well aware that um, there are things that, especially in certain kinds of media, I'm tired of,
mhm.
right? And I know for right now that I hate to say it again, but a lot of people are saying it now too, is people from this era, this past 10 years, right?
Mhm.
In the same way that they look at when you see a '70s movie, it's a '70s movie,
You can tell.
right? Again, there's a feel to it. You have to like how long it takes for anything to happen and appreciate that it's building.
Yep.
But you would
Yep.
absolutely
Love
be
bad
in your right.
haircuts. Yeah.
Any person would be in their right to say, like, this is so fucking boring, right? I'd say, you're not wrong, but I appreciate it because this is how it's developing. But there's this concept. There's going to be this like, yeah, this is Logan's Run. This is boring. This is it's like, and
It's Jaws. That thing's
it
fake.
feels like
Yeah.
70, right?
Yeah.
It feels like the 70s. There's going to be a section here of these past 10 years where they're going to be like, so this is a medieval movie. It's like, yes, set in medieval France. It's like, yes. Why are all these weird blacks and Asians there? Right?
What movie are you talking about?
Oh, it's basically anything fantasy right now where
Yeah.
it's history doesn't matter, representation matters. They're going to look at a whole bunch of things where it's like, why are they harping on this all the time? Right? There's a to speak of, okay, so for
It's going to be a pretty distinct chapter in movie history.
yeah, they're going to be like,
yeah.
which Little Mermaid do you want to watch? Do you want to watch
That's a good example. Yeah.
the good one or the black one? And people, that's the thing. People don't want to make that distinction, right?
No.
And again, there's this weird thing where you're like, why are there like Asians like stuffed in places where they wouldn't be? Again, it's not that representation is
Or they
bad
might not
anything.
care, man. I mean, we might go back to like the '90s where it doesn't. Nobody gives a fuck.
Well,
you know? But so like the problem with the last 10 years is they kind of poke it in your face. So every
yes,
time, yeah.
Well, and we had some of that. That's the thing is we had some of that in the 90s.
We did.
And we've disposed most of that because
it was dumb, and everybody recognized it as being dumb. The faces are all the same. Everybody's like, "Oh, groan, mutual groan."
the faces are all the same.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so I get it. You're not supposed to keep whales in captivity. Okay, got it. But nobody remembers that movie anymore. Nobody cares about
Was
Free
that the
Will.
'90s?
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about Free Will. I thought you were talking about Star Trek 4. So,
Oh, okay. Well,
sorry, I'm confused on my which environmentalist kick we were on.
do
there.
forgive me. There were so many environmentalist movies.
Fern Gully. To the point where Fern Gully is
at
actually a fucking. It's almost like it's like a category of movies now.
at this point.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
there's. Do you count that as Fern Gully is like, wow, I live with these people now. I've accepted their ways. Do you call
the
that
Avatar thing? Yeah.
Well, do you call that the Avatar category? Do you call it the Last Samurai category? The Dances with Wolves category?
The Last Samurai was Dances with Wolves with guys with knives. It was the same fucking movie.
It's the exact same movie, but it's far superior.
Well, I don't know about that, man. I mean, that movie is long, slow, and boring too.
I don't know. This is
yeah, and it's got fucking. It doesn't have Magua in it, man. Come on, at least the other one's got a bad guy in it that's worth your time. It's not this fat guy, Monopoly Japanese man. You know.
well, and then the bad American guy.
The bad American guy.
Yeah, he was the dude's like superior in the Civil War.
Oh yeah. Oh no, Jeff. They weren't in the Civil War. Remember, they were out there absolutely killing people on fucking what is it? What's the battle? The famous one.
It was a Custer.
No. After that one, the absolute massacre. That's actually supposed to be that battle.
It's not Wounded Knee, is it?
I think it is.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it is Wounded Knee.
But I thought he was in the Civil War, and then also
that's the other movie. That's the other movie.
That's the other movie.
Yeah,
okay.
That's like John Dunbar was in the Civil War. He's got that whole thing in the beginning where he's riding the horse trying to commit suicide. He says, "Save this man's legs."
But there's this series of there's two things I remember being huge in the 90s that people have just they've paved over it and said this didn't happen. Is number one, environmental movies, right? And there's
still a ton of those, man.
It's different, man. It was the same thing.
That whole thing turned into like
nobody gives a fuck about Philadelphia either. It's just the same thing.
Philadelphia.
Yeah, Tom Hanks, AIDS, that sort of.
Oh yeah, I don't. That movie had like a little bit more of a sharp message at the time because that's early '90s.
I agree.
Yeah, but
nobody cares about it now.
No, nobody cares about it because okay, so that was your last civil rights movement that everybody kind of eventually said, yeah, okay, that makes sense. We're being dicks. Let's stop. Kind of thing. But like all your fucking environmental movies, they got ignored, and so they turned into like fucking 2012. and the day after tomorrow, where it was like, this is what you get. I
get you. But I was just saying there was an attitude. There's two like real genres of movies that I remember being big. Is One was environmental, and that
Yeah, yeah.
again it evolved the way that you saw. And there were a lot of movies about capital punishment,
Capital punishment?
abolishing the death penalty, being anti-death penalty, being anti.
Like what?
Oh God, there were like a bunch of like Susan Sarandon movies. There were a bunch.
Oh,
Oh
those don't count.
God. Well, and keep in mind, '90s was also the big time of lawyer movies.
See, that's what I remember. Is I remember all the John Grisham movies.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, and
yeah.
some of those were like tinged by like race or like
Oh, Time to Kill.
Time to Kill, and then the other one was.
There were a bunch.
Oh no, I guess that one didn't have. The firm didn't have anything to do with race. But what was the one with John Travolta? That one had to do with
Oh,
fucking. That wasn't John Grisham though. I think that was actually real. That was like, well, you had like that and Aaron Brockovich. That was in there
yeah,
at that
yeah,
time.
and that environmentalist. There you
That
go,
was,
right
well,
there. Yeah,
yeah, but I
yeah.
can't remember the one with John Travolta that had to do with the Superfund site. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, man. Yeah,
What I remember from the '90s is the '90s. You got summer after summer after summer of humongous blockbusters. So that just dropped like bombs every single summer, and so all these other movies had to kind of scurry around those because, like, really, when it came down to it, Armageddon wasn't really about Armageddon. It really wasn't about climate change. It was about we can get these six people in the same movie at the same time. So
well,
that's the biggest thing that we can do. You know?
Armageddon was Armageddon. That's the thing.
It was, the fucking oil drillers were the heroes, Jack.
It was
It had nothing to do with
exactly
yeah.
what was on the package.
Exactly. So, but you had every summer you get two or three of those, and so any kind of message that you wanted to try and get out there, you had to kind of pencil it in around those.
Well, here's the thing: is I remember the '90s to me were broken into two sections. Right
Mhm.
now, I will say that at least in the '90s, you do have that is when you actually still have mid-budget comedies,
You have a bunch
blockbusters, that
of
kind of
them,
stuff,
yeah,
right?
every year.
Because I'll say this here: I ain't seen a Rush Hour
I
kind of
ain't seen
movie.
a Rush Hour in a long time. Yeah,
Um,
so you're not gonna see some goofy Tom Hanks movie. You
no,
know,
no, no.
I mean, you're not gonna have like. I mean, come on, dude. Even back then, you had like the beginnings of your superhero era. You
A
know, where
little
you
bit.
get
I mean,
like B
yeah, some
movies like
flops
Mad
and
Men and like fucking. Well, I mean, see, the problem is that Batman burned itself out quickly because everybody was like, "That's dumb." You know?
well, I mean, there's so obviously like Batman '89 took the entire
Oh yeah,
world
that
by
was
storm. Not
yeah,
gonna
and then
pretend.
and the next one did really well too.
Well, it sort of did.
It sort of did, but then they kicked fucking Tim Burton
Yeah.
because they were like, yeah, this is weird. And then they added George Clooney, and everybody said, yeah, that's not a right direction here.
Well, it was Val Kilmer first.
Oh
And
yeah,
then
you're right. It was Val Kilmer and Doctor Freeze. So
no, no,
yeah,
no, no. That one is Val Kilmer
the
and
Riddler.
Tommy Lee Jones
Oh,
and
okay,
Jim
and Jim
Carrey.
Carrey.
Right?
Yeah. Okay, so there you go. You don't have Jim Carrey comedies coming out every year.
No,
So,
no.
because I mean, he had tons of them in there, like
Come on,
fucking Cable Guy
Ace
and
Ventura.
Ace
I mean, that's
Ventura wanted to, and then Me, Myself, and Irene. You get
oh, The Mask.
the
Yeah,
mask.
yeah. There's
God, that movie's terrible.
I agree. But they had a place,
They
right?
they did so, but you slotted this in between like fucking Jurassic Park, and Armageddon, and fucking Independence Day.
Well,
So
that's so. The weird thing is, yeah, you have that. It's almost there was way more variety. And I will say the other thing that people remember about the '90s is basically like there's an underground current. There's like a so eventually these little movies would bubble their way out to the surface. You're like, where the fuck did the Clerks come from? There's this,
yeah, that's true.
and that was I mean, shoot, I mean, we're talking about Tarantino. That's
That's
exactly
where he came from.
because as I said, like
Yeah, I mean, Reservoir Dogs was something that nobody saw when it first came out, man.
no,
So no,
no, no. A lot of people were like, this dude made other movies before.
yeah, they didn't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, they didn't know.
and then they found
So
out it's like, well, this is different. This
yeah.
is there's a lot of cruelty in this
There's a
movie.
lot of cruelty in this movie. There's a lot of blood in this movie. I mean, that guy's laying there soaked in it the entire fucking movie. Look at him. He's turning green.
No, it's there. There is that, and that's where there was. I mean, shit, like Fight Club was the '90s. So I mean, it's
Yeah,
that undercurrent that
yeah, but I mean, you had like there were other fucking. I mean, Fight Club. I don't know if that one was so much second tier as like, because I mean that was a little bit later, and fucking both those guys had kind of cut their bones, at that point in time. Both Edward Norton and Brad Pitt, because Brad Pitt, what was like the first big movie that I remember him being in? What was the one where he was fucking death?
oh, Meet Joe
Meet
Black.
Joe
But
Black.
well, his look, his breakout role was Thelma and Louise. All right, it is what it
Yeah,
is.
okay, but that's a little bit older. But he was a little bit young. He was like literally a teenager,
Yeah.
kind of. And then so he started coming in like because I remember some bad movies. Like he had this one with fucking Harrison Ford where he was like an IRA dude.
Oh,
That movie is awful.
it's
So
it has the word devil in it.
Devil's Advocate? No, that's
That's Al
Keanu
Pacino.
Reeves.
Yeah,
That's
Al
Keanu
Pacino,
Reeves and
and
Al
yeah,
Pacino.
it's not the Devil's Rejects, but there is a
Might as well be.
no, there is a yeah, there it's I can't remember the name of it. It's I
What's in the
saw it.
box? He was Kiss the Girls, right?
No, that's seven. That's and
Oh, you're
I
right.
think
He
that's
was
where
seven.
most people
Yeah,
first
you're
know him
right.
from.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
seven. It was Morgan Freeman, right?
that is.
Yeah, Kiss the Girls is Nicolas Cage, right?
Oh boy, I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think yeah. See, that kind of movie was huge
Oh
in the
yeah,
'90s.
yeah. But I mean, again, Jeff, there were no streaming services. Fucking cable was expensive. Everybody was still renting shit 6 months after it came out. That all changed within the next 5 to 10 years. Okay, as soon as Netflix dropped, it was fucked. At that point in time, because you start getting your shit every single month. Well, why am I going? Because I'm going to have to fill up my order at the end of the month. Kind of thing.
Yeah,
So in order to
yeah.
get my money's worth out of it, so that's early 2000s, and so that's almost that's a greenhouse flower era for that kind of movie. So,
Good way of
because
putting
then it
it.
went
Yeah,
back to like
yeah.
where the 80s was, because we started doing these humongous summer blockbusters that were insanely expensive. And that's just like the 80s, okay? With your action hero kind of movies going
Well,
back to back to back and your big special. I mean,
okay.
Indiana Jones was not a fucking cheap movie to make.
No,
So,
no, no, no,
yeah,
no.
no.
It wasn't. But what I can tell you is, all right. So one of the things, this is one of the things that is unique to the '80s that people don't realize here is like, why does this new Predator movie suck? Okay, well, the '80s was the last time of the blockbuster R-rated movie,
Oh, yeah, you're
right?
right. Yeah, you're totally right.
By the time we got into, I mean, when they noticed that there's money in families, right?
Yeah, they stopped doing those.
That's when they changed from that to Jurassic Park,
Dinosaurs,
Dinosaurs, Independence Day, Men in Black,
Men in Black.
right?
Yeah.
Where it's like these are all PG-13 movies.
You're
We want
right.
to get the whole
Yeah,
family,
they're all PG-13.
right?
Yeah, you're right. You lost all the R-rated blockbusters after the 80s. So, well, and I mean, then they started slowly coming back in some respects. I mean, you got a few of them out there, but it also got to the point that a rating system didn't even fucking matter anymore because you're just going to get on Netflix anyway.
Well, it is,
So,
and
yeah.
let's not forget. I mean, so we're only talking a couple of years there, right? So Iron Man's going to come out in 2008,
Yeah.
and that's going to be PG-13 all the way,
Yeah.
and that's going to people have been trying to emulate that.
The other thing that we're not taking into consideration here is that like fucking TVs got way better at that time.
And
So,
well, Sopranos is 90s.
no, not TV, TVs.
Oh,
So actual like fucking monitors got
that is true.
way better, at that point in time. And so I mean, because I remember like our first TV that I bought when we got married. In order to get a decent flat screen TV, it needed a 3-inch pane of glass. In order to have a decent 3:4 movie or a 16:9 movie experience.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was heavy as fuck.
Well, depending on what you had there, if you open it up, there will be red, green, and blue lights inside.
There might have been at
I
that
had
time.
one like that.
I have no idea, but it was actually flat screen.
Yeah.
And it required a really heavy piece of glass. And then we kept that TV for probably about, I'd say out of all the TVs I've had, it had the shortest lifespan because
Yeah.
like by 2005 you could get something like this.
Well, so
2006.
let's keep in mind that I'm trying to end this period where you say, where's the last time that you saw that compact Presario monitor
It's about then.
that's about a foot and a half thick,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Eventually, it comes to be like super flat,
Yeah.
right? But
So I know that I had a flat screen monitor by 2005 because when I moved. So when we moved, or I
okay.
guess this would, yeah, it would have been 2005. I had a bona fide flat screen monitor like this. So,
And to be fair, like I do understand why newer ones are less durable because if you look at an old TV and you say like, what's the construction on this? It's like, well, 1,600 feet of copper wire.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And it weighed a fucking ton. So
even little ones
even
weigh
little
a
ones
fucking
weighed
ton.
a fucking ton.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean that. So okay, so you're going to the point in time where I can get just as high quality as far as picture goes, but then hold it this close to my face rather than sit in a theater with a whole bunch of pigs,
Well, well, this is
and watch it in their 4K.
well. Let's not forget this too. This is and remember this about big screens because I did know people that had big screen TVs in the '80s and the
Yeah,
'90s,
with the
and
three color things that projected onto it.
oh,
So I remember one of those.
they didn't
So
need this. Some of those were actually just the big televisions, and this is the
mhm.
thing was the technology was basically you go up to it and it's not as though the resolution increased.
No,
When people bought big screen TVs, it was basically like going to the Louvre and looking at like the Monet paintings
yeah,
because it was just taking the pixels and making them bigger.
yeah.
The whole thing was if you had a big room, you could sit farther
You could
away
sit
from it.
further away, and then you could have more people in the room with you and turn it into your own home movie theater. So,
Correct. And
yeah,
that thing cost you $6,000,
thousands of dollars,
1980 money.
thousands of fucking. Dude, I saw this ad the other day for fucking laptops in 1990. Holy fucking shit! I
Oh,
forgot how expensive they were.
like $2,400,
It,
like 1990
no,
money.
like $8,000 in
Holy fuck! Which
1990
one were
money.
you looking at?
It was like a Tandy that had a little monitor on it like this,
Oh,
and it
yeah,
folded
yeah,
up
yeah,
only
yeah,
on
yeah.
half of the thing. And I was like, $8,000.
And the actual like unit was as thick as a phone
It
book.
was like a VCR.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You ain't kidding, no.
I was like, oh my god, I forgot how expensive those were, man. You know, and then like it's because I remember my dad. Like we would. There were a couple of years there where we were doing the. I mean, we never got the Amiga, but we went to the Colt, and then we
Yeah,
went to the 286, 386, 486 March. It was like $2,500, three
yeah,
thousand dollar machines
yeah,
in 1990s bucks.
yeah.
I mean, that was substantial, dude.
It absolutely
That was
was.
expensive,
Yes,
man. I mean, if you did the math on that now, that'd be like paying like $8,000 for a fucking computer.
yes.
So, and nobody can conceive of doing that. I mean, I was actually looking at like getting a fucking gaming laptop the other day.
Were
So,
you looking at like the were you browsing like the Amazon deals? Like did they
yes,
hit
they
you?
are
Yeah, yeah.
ridiculously good right now. So, but I was looking at some of those. I was like, wait a minute, I can plug this into my monitors, and then I can take it with me when I go
Yep,
places, and
yep.
it kicks the shit out of my computer, and it's like $900. It's like you got to be kidding me, man. So there used to be where it took several paychecks for me. This is even just like a part of a paycheck now. So,
Let me. Okay, this is something that I did not think would be the case, right? And I'll just say this. Okay, you remember the story of time traveler John Titor?
hmm. Was
Oh,
he the guy who claimed to be from the future?
you know it. Yeah, this
Yeah,
is
okay. I've listened to the Art Bell
that's
version of
that's
this. Yeah.
okay. Now, do you remember why he had to come back to our
It had
past?
something to do with nuclear war.
Well,
So,
that's what he's trying to stop. But
right.
well, it's there's a lot of things that he's trying to stop. But there's something he needs from this time. Do you remember?
It was something, it was a computer component that was like it would cost him a nickel to get it.
Right, but they needed it,
Right.
and it was a very specific. I need this computer part because this and regular computers won't do it.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm in a weird position, Pat, right? I did not recognize this would be the case, but this is just something that technology is weird with, right? So I have a video card from when I was mining, right? And you bought these things because of the capacity that they can do with this.
Right.
Now, it's a 3090. It is still a
That's a
fantastic
great
video card.
Yeah.
But here's the crazy thing is there are people right now, if I pulled it right now, okay, I could buy 2 of those laptops that you just mentioned from selling that card. Do you know why?
No.
Okay, the only thing, so the 3090, 4090, and 5090, right? Those are the 3 models of the 90 series they have. There's one unique thing that they have that the other ones don't have, is those have 24 gigs of VRAM.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Now,
I hear that we're having a RAM shortage coming up.
We are having a RAM shortage for a couple of reasons. So even though I could get a more powerful card in the later series, right? Everybody wants these cards right now, the 90 series, because anybody that's doing AI generation,
They need the RAM.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there's only 3 cards that have it.
The 3090?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I don't have a 90 series. I have a 70.
Right. Because the 90s were the ones that were supposedly, these were the ones for people that were doing like video effects, whatever it was.
Yeah,
that was the whole theory of this. I just saw this. I'm like, how much can it mine? Okay, buy. Right. And that was the thing. At the time when I bought that, it was cheaper to buy the whole pre-made computer
than it was
to buy the card.
Yeah, I remember when that was going on.
Yeah. So it's crazy for me to look at and say, like, well, this tech's a little bit old. Like, are you sure you want it? But it's something where, like John Titor's little computer thing, other things don't use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What he was claiming from coming from the future at a time that we're approaching now, if I'm not mistaken.
Pat, how many movies do you watch now where the movie starts and it says 2007, the future?
Oh, dude, it's so fucking funny. I love that shit. It's like we have no flying cars. You guys are gonna be so disappointed.
Well,
yeah. And then you watch fucking Blade Runner. It's like, wow, the world is way better than that. We don't eat protein shakes, so they were made out of like people. So.
Wasn't that bad?
No, that's a different movie. You're right. That's a different movie.
Blade Runner, it's like the sun never shines.
Yeah,
here,
no.
unless you go about
you have
the
to
clouds.
Be really, really rich in order to actually see the sun ever. Otherwise, all you do is Diet Coke ads, and it's like I don't even have that, man. This is great.
No,
the world is awesome.
Well, and of course, it's that other. Again, we saw that version of the future from the 70s where it's sort of like the future will exist, but every person, it's defined by people wearing white shirts, white pants, and white shoes.
Right? Oh, right, yeah.
It's the future.
It's the future.
The 80s was kind of like the end of the world will happen. Right?
Oh yeah,
it's going to be Mad Maxy, or it's going to be like corporations will destroy everything. Right?
Yeah, the only one that was remotely hopeful was Back to the Future 2, and that's the one that got the most things right.
And the original draft of Back to the Future was super bleak.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
they got that one right. It's like there's no Biff Overlord. So I mean, he did become president, but. But it's fine.
I mean, it would not surprise me if, once his brain actually starts to go, if he goes on stage, it's like, you never know how I made my fortune.
Yeah.
A person that kind of looked like me.
Yeah, he gave me a book a long time ago.
Gave me this book and said to bet on these sports.
Right, yeah, buy these buildings. So he brought me a Zillow report.
Yeah, it's kind of a trip. It's sort of, like Terminator 2. Judgment Day already happened.
Long time ago.
Yeah.
Like 20 years ago. Yeah. We're fine. Yeah.
And they're still trying to make that movie. And that's, so.
Can't do it, man.
That's like what you were talking about. Like,
we were supposed to have dinosaurs by now. We don't have that.
Well, we're yet to find that mosquito,
They find plenty of those
right?
mosquitoes. Yeah, it just doesn't fucking work. Yeah. So,
you remember remember the movie when they go in there?
you just suck it out of there. Yeah.
It's not just suck it out of there. It's like fluorescent pink,
Yeah, you tickle it. Yeah.
right?
Oh, right. Yeah, it comes out like looking like Pepto Bismol too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that's pure
Bingo,
DNA,
Dino
guys.
DNA.
All right, all
They
right.
use the fucking gloves.
Does it count?
Yeah. It's like, who would have thought that a mouse was so much better at this? Anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
All
All
right.
right.
I'm Pat.
Jeffrey.
In the butt.